Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Oh, good afternoon and welcome. It's that time.
Yeah.
I'm just getting ready for a big show, man.
I know.
A great big show for you. Greg Hollenbeck, Jay Parker here for you on a Wednesday. It's a hump day, May 13th, as we continue. It is getting fiery out there, Jay. And just when you think, man, when dining rooms and restaurants become outlawed, diners and restaurants become outlaws.
They do.
That's what's happening right now. You're seeing it everywhere. We had a very spirited conversation yesterday with Jennifer Hewlin and Water's Edge Winery. Jennifer took it upon herself to reopen her restaurant winery, and we had a conversation about it yesterday. Seems to be the theme right now. Restaurants are itchy to get reopened, and I'll tell you what, I can't blame them as our audience is joining us here today. We welcome you, and sharing and liking is the name of the game. We've been here with you pretty much every single day, Monday through Friday. And
Today's
Saturday.
Close to day 60. It's real close. You know, I may have missed a day or two, but in the description it's day 60, so it's real close to that, man.
So welcome and thank you. Big show for you today. We're going to check in with another restaurant, and this is in halfway between Colorado Springs and Lyman on Highway 24. It's Calhan, Colorado. The hottest green chili around, Jay.
I want to try it.
Here's a little taste of, we checked in to see the restaurant, and the restaurant's name is Western Omelette 3, and this is what it looks like inside of there right now, and you can see you got a big table, and actually at this table right here, you'll see Karen and Stephanie are at the table, and Karen and Stephanie are other owner-operators of Karen's Cafe and Stephanie's Bar. We'll talk to them tomorrow, but look at this table full of diners. You can see how they're dining, and that's what it looks like right now at Western Omelettes 3. So we're going to check in with Bill Borders and Ashley Smith from Western Omelettes 3 here momentarily. But we want to tell you the rest of the show. We do have a poll question for you today, Jay.
We do. I typed it.
What did you say? What's the poll question?
God, well, now I forget the exact verbiage.
You
but
just said you typed it.
I did type it, but it's do you think that restaurants, or do you agree with restaurants opening their dining rooms now versus waiting? Do you agree with it or not?
You wrote all that?
Well, I mean, like I said.
You didn't write all that.
Well, there's something in there. I mean, you can read it. It's explained.
Check out the poll. I looked at it, and I thought Jay kind of left it out a little bit.
You didn't like it.
It's not just restaurants, but restaurants going against the public health orders, and we're seeing a lot of that right now. Again, that's where we're going to go to, Western Omelette 3 in Calhan, Colorado. And again, there's really not too many people on the fence. Either you're for restaurants staying safe and opening up correctly within the confines of what your local and state government tell you, or you're just going to take it upon yourself to create your own rules and open your dining rooms unlawfully.
Unlawfully for sure. But the safe part is the one that there's a lot of people on each side of that fence, where they say if we're sanitizing and we're cleaning, then the safe part, we're just as safe as other businesses that are open. Now, the unlawful part is without a doubt because it's the law right now. But
that's when we will check in after that with Dr. William Blanchet in Boulder Internal Medicine to answer that question exactly. Is it safe right now? Even if you do practice the social distancing and all of the other things involved, it's going to be an interesting conversation. And Zach Johnston, the Spice Guy, he's a vendor for restaurants. And I'll tell you what, it's a very interesting thing that Governor Polis says on we'll let you know on the 25th what our intentions are. We're not giving you a date for reopen, but on the 25th we'll let you know our intentions. And he believes that you'll need about a week to start up, to get a hold of your vendors, to get your food in, to get your staff ready, to get the machine revamped up and ready to roll. Is a week enough time? That's really, really an interesting question. We'll check in with Zach Johnson, the Spice Guy. Rebecca Berry will join us as well. Hot Schedule is powered by Force. She's doing great things. I'm heading on over here. Any questions or comments that you have, we have a text line, 720-715-3311. This is Stephanie and I'm sorry, this is Karen and Stephanie, Karen's Cafe and Stephanie's Bar. We'll talk to them tomorrow, but this is what they had to say as they were supporting Western Omelettes 3. They're eating breakfast at Western Omelettes 3 right now.
Can we book you on the show tomorrow?
Absolutely. As long as we show solidarity with Western Omelette 3, we are a team out here. Them and us are rocking America.
All right, are they rocking America? They're rocking something, and we're going to check in with them tomorrow. But right now, without further ado, I'm going to get her on the phone. And just a sweet, sweet person. We had an opportunity to catch up with Ashley Smith, and the owner, Bill Borders, will join us as well. I'm going to get them on FaceTime and call them right now. Let's see if we can get these folks on FaceTime with us and have a good conversation.
I'd just like to point out that, we were on the phone with Ashley for an hour trying to get connected to make sure we can bring this interview to the folks. So if it...
Hi, Ashley.
There we go.
How are you?
There we go.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Turn your phone sideways and we'll get going. All right, so halfway between Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Lyman on Highway 24 is Calhan, Colorado, and the hottest green chili around, right?
That's right.
Let's go to Western Omelette 3, and we're there right now with Bill Borders, the owner. Hi, Bill.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good to see you. And Ashley Smith, the front of the house manager at Western Omelette 3. Can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Okay. First of all, Bill, thanks for joining us. And Bill he's going to put the phone right up to his ear there. All right, Bill. Is the volume all the way up on your phone there, Ashley?
Yeah, it's up now.
Okay, just want to make sure that you guys can hear us. Why don't you set the stage? First of all, talk about Western Omelette 3 and how many locations you have and your involvement with it. Bill, you can start it out.
I have 3 locations. I have 2 satellite stores and a main store. The main store is in Colorado Springs. I have a store in Fountain, and then we have this store. So these are the satellites. So that's what I do, and that's what I own.
How long have you been in business for, Bill?
29 years.
29 years. All right. What did you do before that?
I worked for the city utilities as a supervisor.
Oh, fantastic. You got into the restaurant business. You've probably never seen in the 29 years that you've been in business anything like this before.
Well, you know what? I did it as a dare. And so it's turned into quite a venture. It's been a learning experience. It's been fun. There's been some upside down roads. But overall, working with the public and working with people is just awesome. And working with employees, it's a different world because I work more with women than I do men. So I had to go to school to learn how to work with women.
I'm still going to that school, Bill. I'm still going to that school. Tell us about Calhan, Colorado. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm actually a native Coloradan, and I haven't been to Calhan.
Yeah, well, you ought to try it. It's a beautiful little tiny town. I mean, just blink your eye, you're through it. But it's a neat community. It's a little tiny community type town. It's ranchers, people from town out here, but it's a very tight community, and it's a very watched over community. It's everybody watches over everybody, and everybody takes care of everybody. We hired all the girls from out here. It's amazing. They're 16 years old. Their work ethics is just awesome out here. It's just unbelievable.
Well, looks like your video was paused there for a minute. Oh, there we go. We're back. Cool. It sounds like a lovely place, and I'm going to take you up on that. I'm definitely going to come visit and eat at your restaurant as well. It looks like it's got a great vibe. So here it is. You're reopened, and I'd like to know just a little bit about the local law enforcement's feelings about you being open, your local government. You probably know all of these folks very well.
Well, Ashley's been more involved in it than I have. She's my manager. She's taken over as a manager should, and she has performed very well. She takes care of me. She takes care of the company, and I am the company. But she's done an excellent job working with the community, working with the people, working with her girls. She's done just an outstanding job. And there's not enough words to say what she does. So I usually let her handle about everything there is to go because I trust her with my heart, and she's just an awesome person.
Oh my goodness, right? That's a lot to live up to, Ashley.
Oh, I know, right? I don't even know. Wow.
So the
That was
folks, your community there in Calhan, the local law enforcement, the local officials, I'm sure you've got yourself a mayor and city council. What does it look like, and what's their response to you guys being open?
well, they're just trying to play it safe. They're trying to stay neutral, which is understandable. But this is a small town, and small towns stick together. So, and the community, more so than anything, has just been our major support. They have literally lifted our spirits and brought us out of this hole we were starting to get ourselves in. Um, but it's mainly been the support of the community, and then not so much Calhan. We had people from all over the United States come and eat at our restaurant. We had some people from Louisiana come in. We've had people from California, Wyoming. We've had people call us and just tell us thank you for doing what you're doing, and you know, um, just trying to have a living doing what we're doing, and not we're not trying to break any laws. We're just trying to express what we're supposed to be doing here in America. So
Okay, so let's dig in a little bit. And again, we are in Calhan, Colorado, off of Highway 24, halfway between Colorado Springs and Lyman. Sits Western Omelette 3, the hottest green chili around. That's what I love. And just sitting here as Bill Borders looks like he's enjoying himself a nice lunch right now, and Ashley Smith, the front of the house manager. So, guys, you mentioned travelers coming in and a supportive community. I just have to begin here because this is, as much as this seems like a flippant question, it's really not. But does COVID-19 exist in your minds?
Yes.
it exists in our minds. However, I think it has been blown out of proportion way more than it should have been. Do we agree on the safer, the distancing from one another? Absolutely. We've taken our own precautions, and people are not sitting next to each other unless they come in together. We have tables that are spread 6 feet apart. Um, we have somebody that comes in and sanitizes every table and booth and chair and every condiment that we have on the table after every use. I mean, we have taken our own precautions, and we do take it seriously, but we're trying to take it seriously within our rights.
And what do you believe those rights to be?
Well, I mean, we are citizens, and we do have constitutional rights. And I sometimes, I guess, during this whole pandemic, we've kind of felt like they've been violated. Where Bill is a small business owner, and he should have the freedom to open up his restaurant with, you know, still abiding by the law. Whoops. With, still abiding by the law, and taking into consideration the order that has been in place for the state. Um,
We just feel we're in the United States of America, but we feel our government's trying to control everything. And I have a problem with that. And yes, the government is needed. We're supposed to control the government, the people. And anymore, it seems like the government's trying to control us. And that's my issue. We have a right. We have the vets out here. We have retired people out here. And the government, yes, we live by the government. We're honored to be in the United States of America. But the government needs to back up a little bit and look at the little communities and don't stick like New York or Chicago down our throat. We are taking care of ourselves out here. We've had zero casualty out here or anything. So, be merciful with us little guys. We're not asking for any free money. We didn't get any anyway. All the big corporations got it. But that's okay. We'll survive because we don't need the government to give us money. And they say they're going to give us money, but they give us nothing. They overlook us for the big companies. So, you know what? Sometimes the government's good, sometimes it isn't. And that's just how I feel. I live in the United States of America, and I'll say it again. I'm honored to be here, but there's a limit to what the government can tell me what to do.
Do you think that threshold or that limit has been pushed to the brink to where we're seeing the floodgates now reopen?
Well, yes and no. I just think people have to be extremely cautious how they do it. I mean, you got to use common sense. It's never going to be the same. It'll never be the same. So now in the new world, and everything's going to be new, and we're going to have to learn how to live a new life in a new time and how we do things. And that's the way it is. And that's we all are carrying disease in our bodies. So it's like a flu or whatever, but we're just learning how to do a new life and adjust to it.
Yeah, have on a, and I can respect that. It definitely an opinion, and right now everybody opinions are like elbows, right? Everybody has one.
I said that exact same thing.
Did you really? You might have.
If,
I substitute another word in there usually, but
yeah, me too. Trying to keep it PG-13.
that's right. Can appreciate that. You guys seem to be just salt of the earth folks, and your best intentions in mind. And gosh, Bill and Ashley, I would just venture to guess that if you could look into a crystal ball and actually there was a prospect of you hurting somebody or somebody dying because of what you are doing right now, that you would feel devastated. So
Of course we would. Of course.
with
Yeah,
that,
but here's the thing. The chances of you getting this virus in this restaurant versus the chances of you getting the virus at a gas pump are a lot higher at a gas pump because we have gone over and above and beyond trying to make sure that everything in our restaurant is sanitized, no matter what. We are using every precaution that is mandated by the state. Um, so, like people going into Walmart and touching everything on God's green earth and then going home and bringing it home with them. There's no difference in somebody coming and sitting 6 feet apart at a restaurant and knowing that everything you touch is completely 100% sanitized.
okay, so I can appreciate that, and that is something that a lot of folks say to where why can't my small restaurant reopen if you can go into a grocery store, if you can go into a Walmart, if you can go into Home Depot? Why are these businesses allowed to reopen and our small restaurants not? That you're hurting us, and we actually have a lot less chance of survival than these big corporations through this time. I can appreciate that and agree with that. But what if a medical doctor would say to you, I'm not so sure, Ashley, that you're correct with that, because you can walk through a Walmart with a mask on and not have any physical contact with anybody, but dining in a restaurant is a little bit different, as I see both you and Bill not wearing masks right now.
We're not wearing masks specifically for this interview. We have a whole box of masks that our staff specifically are required to wear. We also have latex gloves that we use when we handle each person. We exchange the gloves along with the Virex. That is it's a viral killer, so it is specifically made for this virus that is going around.
Not just about you, though. Remember, your guests, it's very hard to eat with a mask on. So restaurants are treated a little bit differently right now, and I would venture to guess that that's probably why these provisions are a little bit different for restaurants right now. We'll not hang on to that point. But when you see headlines like this printed up from the Colorado Springs Gazette, I believe, and it says El Paso County could see hundreds to thousands of more coronavirus cases in this month, health officials say. When you read things like this, does that waver what you're doing on a local level, or is that just let's get back at it and let the chips fall where they may?
Well, to be completely honest with you, the whole statistics of wearing a mask and not catching anything or spreading it have been proven to not actually work. I actually read an article from a board-certified doctor that said that the mask will do more harm than they will do good.
There's information on I could find a medical doctor right now that would tell you smoking cigarettes is not bad for your health.
Yeah, for sure.
you could find somebody on any side of the fence. That's where we come into this sticky wicket of a situation. And I think that from the most basic level, you guys just want to survive as a business, right? Would you?
Well,
Correct. And we're not roping people in by, by chain and telling them that they have to come in here. All we're doing is giving the people of our community a choice. If they want to come in here, then that is their choice to do. We're not telling people they have to. If they don't want to support us, we are perfectly fine with that. And we're okay with them choosing not to choose our restaurant. But we are honestly, all we're doing is giving people a choice. And to be completely honest with you, people leave their house every day knowing that there is a risk that they're taking walking out their door.
Mhm.
The same that goes for everybody that works here. We know that there are risks. However, we're doing everything we can to take precautions to make sure it doesn't happen here. Are we going to say that it's never going to happen here? Absolutely not. We cannot make that guarantee. However, we are doing everything we can to A, give people the choice to whether they want to come into our restaurant, or B, they don't. But either way, we're taking all precautions that we feel are necessary for our customers that choose us.
Mm. You know what, guys? It's an interesting thing, and for me as a talk show host, I have a very difficult time when I go. Like, for example, yesterday we went to Houston via the same thing via FaceTime, and we spoke to a restaurant owner who has reopened at 25% capacity, and that is within the law. They have opened up restaurants for in-house dining, and we're going there, and we're very anxious, and we're celebrating that. And goodness gracious, we're so happy that it's happening. But then we go to you, to where it's still under Colorado law that you're not to open your dining rooms. Same situations, but different areas with different municipalities. And what you're doing is illegal, and what they're doing is not illegal. That seems to be a dichotomy that's a tough pill to swallow right now.
Yeah.
that's very true. That's very true. But again, our constitutional rights gives us an opportunity to choose what we want to do. And we're not saying that we're against the governor or anybody. We're just exercising our constitutional right. Is I believe that I have the right to decide what I want to do with my restaurant as long as I'm maintaining what they want. Yes, is it right? I don't know. Does anybody know? Is there any answers for any? Because we're living in a new area.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because there are no guidelines yet. On the 25th is when the governor is supposed to come out and tell us what the plans are for the future. There is no set date. May 11th was that set date, and that's been pushed back right now as well. And I think it's an interesting thing.
I'm sorry to interrupt. And I wanted to make a little side note. It has been pushed back several times.
Yep.
This is not just the first time it's been pushed back. So us sitting here waiting for him to come up with guidelines so we can basically feed our families and have a roof over our head. We're playing.
Oh, Ashley, your audio's going out on you just a little bit there towards the end. It's been a good connection so far. And again, we're in Calhan, Colorado at Western Omelette 3 with Bill Borders and Ashley Smith. Just very, very polite, sweet people that we're talking to on the stream today. And I have to ask you, have you been warned by any officials on a state level for any repercussions that may happen to you as far as your liquor license being pulled, et cetera?
Well, my liquor license is not out here. My liquor license is in my main store in town, and it is closed. We do not have a liquor license out here.
Would you be
So
doing this?
just to reiterate that, the other two restaurants are not doing dine-in. They are not supporting dine-in. They are maintaining doing takeout. We are the only restaurant out of all three that are doing limited seating dining. I just wanted to clarify that we're our own entity and Bill is owner of all three. However, this one is the only one that's doing dining.
And is it for the reasons I would assume, because you don't want to jeopardize your liquor license at the main location?
Yes, because I have to comply with the city. We have to come. We're in the city, so I comply with the city. We're in a county, but we're a little rural town. So therefore, I just feel we talk to the people out here, we talk to all the employees out here, we talk to everybody out here, and they're okay to try to work with us, and we're okay to try to work with them. And that's all we're trying to do. It's not about all money, it's about taking care of the people out here, and they're taking care of us.
Speaking of the people out there, tell us a little bit more about the community and Karen's Cafe and Stephanie's Bar and some of the other businesses. I mean, are all of the restaurants? I don't even know how many restaurants are in Calhan, Colorado.
There's three.
There's three.
There's three of us. There's three of us here. There's Karen, and then there's Roosters. There's three of us here. That's it. That's all that's in this town. There's just three of us. Three restaurants, period.
So what about Stephanie's Bar?
It's all one. So Karen's Cafe and Stephanie's Bar and Grill, it's all one entity. There is one side for the cafe and the other side for the bar and grill.
And they're open for dine-in business as well. Is that true?
Correct.
And
Yep.
and they're obviously not worried about their liquor license.
Yes, we are. They are. We're all concerned. But again, there we're trying to say that we have that constitutional right to challenge it. Now, again, we're not challenging the law. We're challenging our constitutional right.
Very interesting, and even in none of our lifetimes have we ever seen a pandemic shut down not only our country but the world and the commerce and the business, and it's an interesting thing. So, upon recommendation, you guys, what would you do if you could just wave a magic wand and restaurants all over the United States, or just let's just stick it within Colorado? Do you suggest everybody take your lead?
No. No, I don't. Because every circumstance is different. Every county is different. Every state's different.
Every city's different.
And every city's different. We're not challenging anybody. We're not telling anybody to do what we're doing. We're doing it on our own out here because, again, we're a little rural, tiny town. The city doesn't even talk to us when they're.
Sorry. Here we go.
We don't really communicate that much with the city when everything's running right. We don't see the city out here supporting us. But now that things are going bad, they want to come out here and try to tell us how to run our business. I have an issue with that.
Ashley, flip that phone around. Let's see what business looks like right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. So this is Josh. He's one of our regulars.
Hey.
He has a lot to say all the time. So if you want to speak to him, he'd be more than happy to.
Great. Guys are open. Yep, look at that.
Yep.
So tell us
We
about
have
your.
people. We have people sitting 6 feet apart. Well, more than 6 feet, really. We have X's for tables not to sit at.
Yep, got the X's.
Yep. It's like every table customer. Not going to show his face just for his own privacy.
Sure. What kind of business are you doing, Ashley? Are folks coming in? Is this a business that's better than, were you doing takeout and delivery beforehand? Is this helping business, or what are you seeing? Is it slow?
Well, we are doing business. They've been very good to us. On Mother's Day, we were very busy. We had customers that wanted to come in and sit at the empty tables that have X's on them, but we made them wait. They waited an hour. Some people waited 2 hours to sit down, but we want to respect people's 6 feet apart, so that's what we did. Whether they agreed to it or not, we still wanted to abide by some type of social distancing here because we are still trying to maintain, a business.
Tell us about your employees there. Has everybody come back to work?
Not everybody, but we have Madison.
Hi, guys.
And this is our sanitizer. She's shy. And the other one, I don't know where she's at.
Has anybody decided to decline coming back to work because they feel that this is unlawful or they're not safe?
No. No. All of our employees that want to work are working. I think the ones that don't want to work is because they're growing unemployment.
Which is a interesting thing all in itself as well.
Yes.
Just a couple more questions for you. And again, thank you very much for your time today. I know you're busy just getting back to business and get back to work. What would it take for you guys, as my email pops open here? Let me shut my email down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What would it take for you guys to say, you know what, maybe we made a wrong decision here? Maybe we need to close down because someone either got sick or a customer came in that was reported to be ill. Would there be anything that would make you second guess or rethink your reopening of the restaurants against the state's orders?
Honestly, if somebody were to get sick in here, it'd be very shocking. A, because there's not been any cases out here. B, we are taking every precaution that we can, and apparently, from what the news has said, we are flattening the curve. So, if it were to happen, hypothetically, we would probably cross that bridge when we get there. Of course, it would definitely be a big burden on our company, and we would take full responsibility for that. And we would take full responsibility for any type of liability we had for our customers coming in. However, every person that walks through that door has a choice to walk through that door. We're not forcing anybody to come into that door, just as they have a choice to go into Walmart or go pump their gas. It's a choice.
Seems like you've thought this through. Who was the gentleman at the bar?
Oh, you want to speak to him? This is Josh. He is a patron at here and Karen's Cafe.
Yeah, Josh. Hey, Josh. How are you?
Good. Let me step outside so I can hear you better.
Oh, okay, no sweat. So they're open right now, and Calhan, Colorado. We haven't visited yet. I'm a native Coloradan, and I need to stop by. But somewhere between Colorado Springs and Lyman on Highway 24 is Calhan, Colorado.
About 45 minutes east of Colorado Springs, and about 45 minutes west of Lyman.
I'm attracted to the hottest green chili around. That's why I would come.
Perfect place for it.
Western Omelets 3 is open for business, and you're there to support them.
Absolutely.
Just like I asked them, this is a question that's hard to ask, but it really is telling. But do you believe that COVID-19 exists, and if so, to what extent?
I absolutely believe it probably exists, but I think it's blown way out of proportion. I being one of the medically fragile with bad lungs, and me being a caregiver for my handicapped sister, who's obviously at risk, we've still shown up. You asked earlier to them about the doctors and what doctors would have to say. I've been in and out of the hospital with my sister, and the doctors aren't concerned, so why would I be concerned to bring her out to a restaurant? If the doctors, when I was at the hospital, the doctor didn't have a mask on, and neither did the nurses. So why would I be concerned to go out in public without a mask? And the masks don't take care of the particles anyway. Even if you use the N95 mask, they don't cover us. The particles are too small to be blocked. And that's per Fusi, or however he says his name, but the president's own doctor that's saying we need to wear them. So, and there's countless recordings of that statement by him.
So what you think?
There's no point in wearing a mask.
Are you? Yeah, and obviously everybody's got an opinion on that, and as more information comes out and more people are trying to get back to their lives, are you happy to see these restaurants reopening in Calhan?
100%. I've been in there in both restaurants, either one or both restaurants all day, every day, in support of them. I'm also taking initiative to try to get more and more people out here, and I'm also volunteering to help them when necessary if it comes down. Guys are only exercising their rights, and us as customers get to exercise our rights to assemble as well, and that's all part of the Constitution as well. Not that they have the right to conduct business just like Walmart or any of the others. We also have the right to assemble, as do they.
Yeah. And, I am reserving my opinions, which, they're not too far off. Like I said, you weren't on the stream there earlier, but it's hard to go to another state. Texas is opening up their restaurants at small capacity, 25%. And we went there yesterday to peek in on a restaurant that is lawfully reopening. It's still in America. It's still a restaurant. It's still the same
Well, technically, everybody's doing it lawfully. There is no law. Everybody keeps saying law. This is only an order as a request, strongly urged request. There is no law that's being broke. Otherwise, our police department has already said they would have arrested us. There is no law. Otherwise, that state guy that showed up at Karen's the other day would have submitted, and he would have told us what law was being broke, and he himself couldn't even come up with it. He was escorted out of town. So, with all that said, everybody keeps saying a law is being broken. No law is being broke. Both are operating. They wouldn't go.
Oh, the video's cutting out on us. You know what? I want to thank you for your time, and you're doing what you believe to be the very right thing. And I think that only time will tell which side of this will the righteous be on. And I really, really believe at the bottom of my heart that you're doing what you believe to be is right now.
Absolutely.
And I can appreciate you for that. I would like to say goodbye to Bill and Ashley, if you wouldn't mind bringing the phone on back into their time spent with us today. And again, just taking the temperature. I want to feel the pulse. I want to know what folks are thinking right now. And if you have a comment about this or anything else, you can email me, greg@themoderneater.com, or comment on the stream as well. I felt it was very important to come back to you guys, Bill Borders and Ashley Smith, not only to thank you for your time, but again, I think 1,000% that what you believe you're doing right now is right, and I think your heart's in the right place. I'm very concerned with the fact right now to where we're still dealing with a lot of unknown, and it would probably break all of our hearts if we knowingly knew we were hurting somebody else. And I don't think that you guys are out there to do that right now. And what you're doing right now, we'll see what side of history you're on. But as it stands right now, you guys seem to be very, very polite, gentle people, and I can appreciate that.
Well, you just said it, sir. You just said it's unknown. It is unknown. We don't know what's out there tomorrow. We don't know what's there for the next day. It's totally a different world. When we were taught in business how to run a business, what life's about, this is totally unknown. And nobody really has answers for what's going to happen or is going to happen.
That's right. Bless you both, and thank you for your time. Do you have any last comments, Ashley? I really do appreciate you being so outspoken.
Yeah, we appreciate people listening to what we have to say and not just editing it and, to their version. We're not bad people. We're not out here trying to break the law. We're literally just trying to live life as we are supposed to live it. We're not bad people. We want to see people stand up for what they think is right, whether other people disagree or not.
All right.
The last thing I want to say, it's nice to have somebody like you that is honest and doesn't twist things. There should be more people like you because the media twists things. You're honest, straight, that's what it should be.
Well, I can appreciate that. I think I'm just as confused as the rest of us. And right now, during a time to where the only thing that is certain is uncertainty, that we need to really talk to each other, bounce opinions off each other. We can't just go lock, stock, and barrel of what the government tells us to do. We've seen what road that takes us down before. If we count on the federal government and the bankers to live our lives for us, we would probably get nowhere, and there would be no small businesses at all. The only thing that I'm concerned about is public safety, the health and welfare of others, and not getting strung up by the law. That's all. I don't want to see you guys get yourself in a ringer or put a scarlet letter on your face. This is something that it's a serious conversation and a serious matter, and I think you're doing all the right things right now. I wish we were joined under different circumstances, but someday we will be.
Someday come out and see us. We'd be honored to treat you to breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
I'd be honored to buy my lunch and dinner there, sir, for sure, and support you guys. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate you coming on the Modern Eater Show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You bet.
Have a good day.
Yeah, have a good day. Really, really sweet people right there, Jay. What are you doing? You need that cord? There you go. Let me tell you about Brews Beers. Beers to your door. You don't need to get off the couch to enjoy our beers. Brews Beers, they're doing it right. They're offering a delivery option. Send a beer to a friend and put a smile on their face. Be a good boss and send some beers to your employees, or just order a pile of beer for yourself. You deserve it. Head over to their website, brewsbeers.com. That's BRUZ. brewsbeers.com, and make the world a better place for a little while. Delivery options include their new cans. They'll get you ready to go for your weekend. Their delivery is every Fridays, and all orders received before 7 a.m. on Friday will be delivered that day for free within 15 miles of the brewery. Or if you reside in Golden area, $50 minimum fee to be delivered. But they want to thank you so much for supporting Brews Beers, and we want to thank you as well, brewsbeers.com. Okay, we've got a double right here. Did we cross our wires somehow here? 242.
I think we're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
I see the doctor and Zach Johnston.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
time.
Zach wanted to come in early, so,
Okay.
I let him in.
Well, let me do this. Dr. Blanchet's here with us. Dr. William Blanchet, Boulder Internal Medicine. Doctor, were you able to hear any of that interview?
Unfortunately, I wasn't. I heard your side of it, but I could not hear the other side of it.
What do you mean?
I could hear you talking. I could not hear them answering.
Were you watching the stream?
No, he was connected.
I was watching on Zoom.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Sorry.
well, you probably know the tone of that conversation. But here it is. You're seeing the news stories just like the rest of us, and Castle Rock Restaurant reopens to Mother's Day crowd in defiance statewide public health order. So folks everywhere right now are starting to say, you know what? I don't want to wait for the governor to tell us and put us off some more. I don't want to wait to see what it's going to take for us to ramp back up as a restaurant. We're going to do the right things. We're going to social distance. We're going to do what we think is right, and we're going to reopen our restaurants. Is that the right thing to do right now, Doctor?
Well, first off, as a small business owner, I understand their pain. I can understand the issue of being stuck, not being able to open. Maybe yes, maybe no, being able to get some PPP funding. And you want to get open and you feel that you can do it safely, you want to do it. I get that 100%. The problem is, if you're opening against state regulations, the penalty for somebody getting sick suddenly becomes a lot greater. If someone comes to your restaurant and then 3 days later is diagnosed with COVID-19, it will become your responsibility to prove they didn't get it from your restaurant. And that's a tough thing to prove. And when someone gets hurt, if I'm breaking a law and someone gets hurt, the consequences of that person getting hurt as a result of me breaking the law is higher. So although I understand where they're coming from, I support the concept of opening restaurants, I worry that these people are putting themselves in significant jeopardy by doing this ahead of the state saying it's a good thing to do.
That's what I mentioned. I mentioned to that earlier, is that seeming to be such sweet, mindful people living in rural Colorado, to where, their world is their world. It's a very small world that they live in, right? And, I think that their heart's in the right place and their intentions are right. My only hopes are seeing these businesses put themselves out on a limb is they're not putting a scarlet letter on themselves.
There's a risk. There's a huge risk. And like I say, I'm sure it can be done right. And if they're in a rural area, they're probably at that point in the curve that it's appropriate to do it. But they really are putting themselves in greater jeopardy by doing it adverse to state guidelines. I'm concerned for them. Actually, more than I'm concerned for their customers, because they're probably going to do it right. The customers probably won't be at any increased jeopardy. But that's a concern. I wouldn't do it if I were them.
It's interesting. I think Jay wants to jump in here.
Hey, Doctor. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I was just going to say, the way we're set up as a republic, right? The United States of America, it's a republic. A lot of people think it's a democracy. It's not. It's a republic. And the reason for that is that our founding fathers believed that on a local level That's where decisions should be made. We know what's best for our communities on a local level. Now, we put a lot of faith into our elected officials on local level, state level, and also on a federal level, right? So on a federal level, we see these mandates come down, and on a state level, we also do. But the local level is really being ignored right now. And I don't think that that's anything that we can repeal or turn back, but people are kicking and screaming, talking about constitutional rights. I want with you just this health perspective. Now, riddle me this, doctor. Yesterday we went to Houston, Texas, and we checked in with a gentleman from Steakhouse. And Houston is reopening at 25% capacity in their dining rooms, and that's lawfully. That's legally open. We contacted him, and we're in ooh and ah and celebrating his reopening, and then all of a sudden we get somebody who in Colorado, and this is what I wrote down before the show, when dining in restaurants becomes outlawed, diners in restaurants become outlaws. That's a tough pill to swallow when we're seeing us as Americans doing different things on a local level, but on a state or federal level, we're kicking and screaming going, look, are we safe? Are we not? Why are they doing this here? Why are they doing that there? How do you make sense of that on a medical level, doctor?
Right. Well, when it comes to COVID-19, the problem is this is a complicated problem. It's not a simple problem, and the factors that go into it are complicated factors. And so to have each community have enough medical expertise to figure it out and each community come up with their own guidelines is not doable because it's complicated. Figuring out when to open from COVID, how to open from COVID, how to do it safely is a high level of medical science. And these small communities may or may not have people who reach this level of understanding medical science. And so I think we're stuck having to do a little bit more macroeconomics on it and have, in an ideal world, the federal government would come down with these are what we think should happen, and the states would determine when to apply it, when to pay attention to it. And within the states could say, those parts of our state that have no cases, you can do this differently than those central, denser areas of our state that have more cases. The state has the option of doing that. So I think if these people in more rural areas could somehow reach the governor's office and say, can't you make an exception for our area? We're dying out here, and we feel we can do this safely. Maybe the governor could work with them. In an ideal world, that's what would happen. But it's complicated. And at the end of the day, it's not that people might die. People are going to die with this. You just don't want to be responsible for someone dying who didn't have to die with this. This is way too interesting. The whole COVID nightmare is way too interesting. Maybe live in interesting times. These are way too interesting.
It really is. Online with us right now is Dr. William Blanchet, Boulder Internal Medicine. His time is obviously extremely valuable, but taking the time to catch up with us here today as we're trying to make rhyme or reason of it goes behind all logic, but I think that there is logic, and I would love to be in on some discussions on a state level to where who's making these decisions? I mean, I know people get in the room and there should be smarter minds prevailing, but I'm not so sure. So on a county basis, our counties have to plead their case to a state level right now to show we've had a decrease for 14 days consecutively and in cases in our county. What are those things do you know what those things that are being pled to the state from the counties need to be in order to get the provisions to reopen businesses?
Actually, I'm not familiar with the exact nature of it. I know they're wanting to see 2 weeks of declining cases, which we're kind of seeing across Colorado for the most part. We're seeing ongoing decline in cases just about everywhere. But there's no question that rural areas where you can't see your neighbor's house is much less of a boiling pot for COVID than downtown Denver, downtown Boulder, downtown Colorado Springs. And so I think that there should be provisions for that should be looked at. And perhaps there are provisions for that, and perhaps it is looked at. Under normal circumstances, we would sit down and try to figure out how do we create this board? How do we make this perfect? Well, it turns out this COVID just bumped into us head on about 8 weeks ago, and we don't have it perfect. We're nothing about this is perfect, and we just have to accept that we're going to do the best we can within an imperfect system. It's just, I've got my head around that. It's hard to do. I've got my head around that.
As I read from Ms. Patricia Calhoun's latest article in Westward, when can restaurants reopen legally in Colorado? I go to a paragraph that states, talking about Mesa County, and some counties have already applied, so you have to apply for variance on the state's order. Whatever it might be ultimately be, Mesa County asked to be allowed to reopen restaurants at 30% capacity, and that request was granted. Some restaurants reopened last week. Pittman County asked for a variance that would allow restaurants in Aspen and other towns to reopen May 20th at 30% capacity, and the state has not yet issued that decision. So it looks to me like, what's your best guess, Doctor, for what they're doing on a state level? I know. What's your best guess?
When you look at Pitkin County compared to Mesa, Pitkin County was hit a lot harder. Aspen area was hit a lot harder with the coronavirus. And so I think the state to be a little bit more cautious in opening up Aspen makes sense as compared to opening up the Western Slope, because it's a different dynamic, and the disease was a much bigger hitter in Aspen than it was in Grand Junction. And so I think that's the reason that Mesa got it, and Aspen they're still looking at, they're still evaluating.
Candace Devine says from the stream, they're putting customers and staff at risk by not following guidelines. Also, it is not fair to those of us who are following the rules. I'm losing money every day too, but I want to be responsible and not risk my license or anyone's health. Does this come down? Is this a health thing at this point in time? It has to be, Doctor.
It's still a health thing. And from my perspective, when I go in the hospital, the number of people in the hospital with COVID will affect my risk for developing COVID. And, I'm in an age range that I could die if I got COVID. And so, we're all in an age range we die, but I've got a 5% shot at dying if I get COVID. And so if people are careless or reckless out in the community, and that increases the existence of this disease, it puts you at increased risk, it puts me at increased risk. It's not just the restaurant owners, it's not just the diners who are at increased risk, it puts the community around them at increased risk, which is why we have to be super, super careful with this. But against that background, we have to say, at some point in time, businesses have to open. How can we do this safely? Can we monitor it? And what I'm hoping is that we'll see this as a problem for all of us. The concept, we're all in this together. Let's pull the same direction on the oars, and we'll get this boat to where it needs to go a lot faster.
Jay?
If we open early, if we open recklessly, we're going to extend the length of this problem.
Dr. J here. So let me ask you this. So as a medical doctor, and we'll use Western Omelette 3 as an example of how they are open. They are practicing social distancing with every other table, and so you expressed your concerns, regarding listen, there's still a pandemic going on, so here's my concerns regarding the restaurant. Comparatively, what are your concerns for the Home Depot and the Walmart, where there's hundreds, 200 people in there, 10% are wearing masks. Some of the employees aren't wearing masks. Nobody's sanitizing all the shelves of everything that everybody's touching.
That's the argument right now, Doctor. Why restaurants? Why are restaurants being singled out?
Well, I think that Home Depot and Walgreens and Walmarts and King Soopers and Safeway should be put under a lot more scrutiny than they're being put under, and that masks should be universal and precautions should be made in those areas. They've made a lot of good changes. They just haven't quite completed the process. However, one thing that's uniquely different about a restaurant is it's hard to go to a restaurant and enjoy what they have to offer without taking your mask off. I can go into Home Depot, and the Home Depots that I go to, not that I live in Home Depots, everyone's masked. There's no one in my Home Depot that's not wearing a mask. And I never have to take my mask off or touch my mask. And I can wash my hands as soon as I leave, and I'm anything I've touched is taken care of.
I mean,
In a restaurant, it's not that simple.
I understand that you can't eat a meal, in a restaurant and keep your face mask on. That's just not, reality. You're not going to put the food up underneath or, whatever.
Right.
But that being said, I mean, that's uniquely different for the restaurant, for sure. But, that's almost, or at least it kind of sounds like that's assuming that these other places that are air quotes legally open to be doing business, that's if everybody that worked there.
Well, there is a mask order, Jay, so you have to assume that people are following the orders to wear masks.
Like I say,
so, Doctor, I'll let you grab that one.
Yeah, one of the other issues is that Home Depot sells plexiglass. I need to install plexiglass in front of my receptionist's desk. If Home Depot is not open, I can't get plexiglass to put in my receptionist's desk. So from that perspective, there are certain things they do that are essential for me to operate in a safe fashion. Although I would love to go sit down and have a meal at a restaurant tonight. If I don't, it's not going to affect my ability to otherwise get by with my day. And so I think that's, the kind of definition of essential services. What makes something an essential service? Well, food is essential. Food in restaurants
is not.
We have options. Yeah. We have options. And so,
I got one or two more for you here, Doctor. But sure. You're hearing folks saying, we just heard their local customer. You didn't get to hear what he had to say, but we heard from their diehard customer there at Western Omelette 3 say, and you're hearing people say things you're getting information all over the place, but masks are not protective and should not be essential. What do you say to that, Doctor?
Well, the data on masks is pretty clear. If I'm wearing a mask and you're not, my mask does not protect me from you. My mask protects you from me. So the mask doesn't protect me. It protects the people around me from me. So masks only work when we're all wearing masks. And so a universal masking makes a lot of sense. It absolutely decreases the number of particles that are spread out when I talk, decreases the number of particles that spread out when I breathe, decreases the number of particles that are spread out when I cough or sneeze. And it doesn't eliminate it, but it absolutely decreases it. And the fewer water particles I'm blowing out in the environment, the fewer water particles you're going to be exposed to, and those water particles are chock-a-block full of viruses if I'm carrying the COVID. So the data is there. During the course of the game, we make all kinds of arguments. After this is over and we're looking back, we're going to say, gosh, I wish we'd had a universal masking sooner. I wish people had paid attention to. And all these people who are putting out these counter arguments. Yeah, they're legitimate counter arguments, but at the end of the day, it's unequivocally true. Me wearing a mask reduces the number of water particles I spew out, and those water particles are full of viruses. Reducing that reduces the infectivity. That's really important in a pandemic.
Isn't that really what we're doing right now, Doctor, is we're just trying to reduce there is no fail-safe, right? If there was a fail-safe, this would have been stopped in its tracks. There are obviously some businesses deemed essential, and people are using that as, are they really? It's basically we're picking and choosing right now how to lessen or reduce the risk so that the outbreak doesn't continue. And some things are going to fall in the cracks and deemed to be, why are we doing this?
The arithmetic, the mathematics of an epidemic or pandemic is fairly simple. With the COVID, when it first started, every one person who was infected, on average, infected 3 more people. And each of those 3 people infected 3 more people, and so on and so on. When that happens, it spreads at a massively fast rate. If we can tampen down what we're doing sufficiently, that every one person with COVID infects fewer than 1 people, then the disease settles down and eventually disappears. And so we can't stop the last COVID from happening in our current environment. But if we can get it that for every one person who's infected, that person infects fewer than 1 people. It's like it takes 2 people to be infected before one other person gets infected. Then we see the pandemic go away. And so anything we can put in, 6-foot distancing does not prevent all infection. It reduces it. Masks don't prevent all infection. It reduces it. Washing our hands does not prevent all infections. It reduces it. We put this all together and we lose that 1 equals 3 and it turns into 1 equals less than 1. and just the disease goes away.
Yeah.
And that's what we're witnessing right now.
Closing restaurants doesn't eliminate it, it reduces it. And it looks to me like at the end of the day, restaurants are looked as being non-essential to eat in the dining rooms. Obviously, eating is essential, but being in dining rooms is going to be a higher risk of spread rate than anything else out there right now.
Yeah, when you're outside, the virus gets diluted, gets blown away, gets to see some sunshine. The sunshine kills the virus fairly quickly. Within the restaurant, you rebreathe the air multiple times, it becomes a higher risk. We currently don't honestly know where that line is. We don't honestly know what's the safest. And so we're taking the point of erring on the side of being too safe. And as a public health person, that's an easy decision to make. As a small restaurant owner, that's a tough decision to hear. Mm-hmm. And so what our federal government has to do is come up with a way to keep the small restaurant owner in business. And it takes a different set of strategies to keep a small restaurant owner in business than it does to keep a medical office in business or to keep a cobbler in business. The restaurant business is uniquely different in many, many ways from almost any other small business. And it's a very, very important, very, very common small business in this country. If we had bright legislatures, they would address the restaurant industry uniquely and find a way to keep those people whole until this is over. And if they could do that, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion right now.
Question from the stream, Suzette asks, do you feel that having dividers such as plexiglass between booths can help when we are allowed to reopen restaurants?
Well, first off, after spending 2 hours yesterday trying to find plexiglass, best of luck on finding plexiglass right now. I think that having the farther distance the air has to move to get from one person to the other, the less infective it becomes. So having plexiglass dividers will help, will reduce transmission, will improve things. And we're hoping that will improve things enough that the progression continues to go in a negative fashion. So yes, I think when restaurants open, we will see more dividers, we'll see more spacing, we'll see more air distance between customers, more ventilation in restaurants. And hopefully that'll be all it takes. Hopefully we'll successfully do that. We won't see an explosion of cases and then everybody shuts down to nothing again, which is the risk.
Colorado Springs City Councilman Andy Pico said, when you're killing the patient with the cure, you end up just as dead. Every day we stay locked down is that much worse on everybody trying to recover. At what point does that make sense?
Well, there's truth to that. There's truth to that. Staying by yourself in a house is not a healthy thing to do. You know, I don't ever tell a patient, stay by yourself in a house as much as possible. But for this particular purpose, it's necessary. I don't think that the treatment is worse than the disease right now. I think the disease is still a pretty freaking bad disease. And the treatment that we're applying is not worse than the disease. We can't do this forever, but the disease won't last forever. And, you know, I look at the Colorado data daily, and the slope is coming down. It is absolutely coming down. Let's ride that wave and get this down to nothing. And as we're making incremental changes, we follow that slope. Make a little incremental change, the slope keeps going down. Make another little incremental change, the slope keeps going down. The slope turns around, starts popping up, you have to back off. If we just said, enough of this silliness, let's open up again, there's a real risk the slope would explode in a straight line right up. And then we'd have to shut everything down. We'd start back to where we were in mid-March. And we, you know, talk about can't afford to do that. My brain can't even contemplate doing that right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this, doctor. I say this often, and I want to get your reaction from it. I say you can get a doctor that'll tell you anything's okay for you, and you see that with lobbyists all the time who work with doctors. Ongoing bet. You think I could find a doctor out there and say smoking cigarettes is not harmful to your health?
That's going to be a challenge. That's going to be a real challenge.
Depends on how much you pay the doctor.
The tobacco industry had no trouble finding doctors who would testify for them that cigarette smoking was not harmful to your health. So they do exist. You have to kind of look in the litigation legal world to find out. You can't look in the practicing doctor's world. But you can find somebody with an MD after their name who will say smoking is fine for you. The tobacco industry certainly has done that in the past. What
do you think about this dude that's leading the charge on a national level? The doctor, what's his name? I can't get the little dude. The little guy that talks every single day. I should know his name. The top
Fauci?
dog. Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Fauci.
What do you think of him?
I think that he is, well, first off, he's very academic. He's very, and he's, as such, deeply embedded in the conventional mode of thinking. That said, I think he is, he's the best we have right now. I think he's thinking this through. He's making reasonable recommendations. I don't agree with every word that comes out of his mouth, but I think in general, he's moving the ball the right direction. And I think that if we follow his lead, what I wish was different is I wish we were a little bit more creative about trying things, a little bit more aggressive about trying new things, a little bit more aggressive about pushing the envelope on trying a new vaccine. And Fauci's not there. Fauci's like, no, it'll take us a few years to get this vaccine, but we need a vaccine sooner than a few years. The penalty for not having a vaccine is going to be pretty bad. So if someone comes up with a vaccine, the government should fund their not only development, but their production of the vaccine with the assumption that it works. As soon as it's proven to be working, we will have 100 million doses. And if it doesn't work and we throw away 100 million doses, that's an expense worth making. Because what it would cost to make 100 million doses and then throw them away is nothing compared to what this economy is losing by not having a vaccine. So if we had, Fauci was a little bit more aggressive. Everybody who has a study with a vaccine that shows that it works, the Fed should get behind them and just open up the floodgates of money. Give them all the money they need to not only finish their research, but to start production. Before the research finished, start producing. Let's get all the vaccine out there. That's the mindset we need. And Fauci's not quite there. Let's make sure it works before we do too much with it. We need that vaccine. We need it yesterday.
You're my favorite doctor, Dr. William Blanchet, Boulder Internal Medicine. Can't wait to meet you in person, doctor, but thanks for spending some time with us today. We'll catch up in a couple more days.
All right, my pleasure.
We'll see
you.
Guys,
take care.
All right, Dr. William Blanchet. What do you need right now? You need a meat box, Jay.
Do I?
You need a meat box delivered to your door, especially, and that's what Rome Sausage can do for you. RomeSausage.com. Check them out online or give them a call, 303-296-7663. Rome Sausage. They're doing a $50 meat box with an assortment of sausage deliciousness. That includes breakfast sausage, breakfast links, Italian meatballs, jalapeno cheddar brats, bratwurst. I'm getting hungry just talking about it. Chicken apple sausage, Italian sausage, green chili sausage, chorizo.
Chorizo?
I said Prosecco the other night instead of Prosecco. I can't say
I thought Prosecco would be right.
Prosecco.
Hot
Polish kielbasa, RomeSausage.com. I'm done.
You want me to do that one?
I can't talk.
You guys want some sausage? Come on down. Hey, listen, man,
sausage.
all jokes aside, Rome sausage is absolutely delicious.
It's the best, man. It's the best. It's local and ready to go. They'll deliver it to your door, RomeSausage.com. Here he is. He's got the mask on and everything. The Bandit. Zach Johnston joins us, the Spice Guy. Hey, Zach.
That's an internet thing.
It's an internet thing, Zach.
What's happening, boys?
There he is.
What's happening with you? A little rough internet in there, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it together. Hey, man, obviously spirited conversations right now as folks are taking it upon themselves to reboot their restaurants themselves. And maybe not a bad idea on a level of working with your vendors, right? The governor, if he had it up to him on the 25th, he'll let you know a plan after that date. And he's thinking you only need about a week to get ramped up. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if it was Hickenlooper, I think it would be a lot better thought out as a restaurant owner. I think this dude knows a lot about green initiatives and doing some other nice things for our state, but I'm not sure that he's ever probably even worked one day in a restaurant, and that's pretty obvious been this whole time. I think a week is a week. If it actually is a week, that would be great. I don't see it being 7 days or even 5 days.
Okay, so Zach Johnson, the Spice Guy. Spices are the name of your game, and very slow since restaurants have been shut down. I'm assuming that the orders are trickling in right now. But what would happen to your business is, say, on the 25th, the governor announces that the 26th, let's give it a week. What would that be? What the hell? With the 7 days off the 25th. I went over the 31. It'd probably be the first of the month. So June 1st. Let's say June 1st, Zach. What would that do to your business for restaurants flooding into you with how many people you have to work, packaging, the whole 9 yards? Would it be doable for you?
It'll be doable. We'll be working long hours again, which we're pretty used to. But I mean, the thing about it is, like, so a guy like Preston Phillips at Grind, for instance, Preston has gone and used every single spice that he had over the course of the entire year, or since he's been closed. He hasn't ordered anything outside of like 1 or 2 items. So what he's done is killed his entire inventory of spices, and he's going to need all that stuff to open up, because if Castle Rock, if CC taught us anything, it's that people do want to go back out and they're ready to rock and roll. Restaurants are ones that are breaking the rules, or whatever we're going to call them, are busy. So, granted, they'll all be spread out a little bit more than that when everything reopens, but Preston will be out of spices. All 4 of his neighbors that we service will be out of spices, if I had to guess. They probably all owe me money, if I had to guess again. And they're all going to need something on the fly. And Preston, for example, he probably doesn't owe me money, but he's got 5 custom blends with us. He's going to want all 5 of them to reopen, if I had to imagine. And he's one of 700 customers in Colorado. And so, you do the math, all of a sudden we probably do 1 or 2 custom blends for almost everybody that we work with. Trying to do 900 custom blends in 5 days.
Yikes.
Is going to be impossible.
Where do you go from there? What do you do?
Man, we prioritize.
Really?
See who's going to pay, who's not going to pay, who needs what worse, and try to do the best we can for everybody. I think that, a lot of the restaurants have been crying, support local, support local, support local, and ordering everything they can from Cisco at the same time. So it's, we keep our eyes open. We know what's going on out there.
Interesting.
Preston owes me money.
He does not. He paid you.
I can't. He probably owes Greg more.
Probably.
He actually owed me. I don't know. It's a long story, but $20 for a long time. So now every time I see him, I ask for it, even though he's paid up.
The $20.
Yeah,
it's a real thing, man. Because for the longest time, vendors were put on the back burner, right? And it's kind of a testament to you serve at their pleasure. You truly do. The minute that they call you up, even if they owe you money, you're probably still going to take the call, because your business, let's face it, you were hit, and vendors all over the place that worked basically completely with food service altogether. You were put on the bench. You were told to wait for payment and then to fire it back up. The demand's going to be huge, and you probably have some outstandings that you would like to see cleared up too. What's your recommendation to restaurants right now to get ready type of thing?
Just the communication. I think everybody that I've talked to, the people that I'm the least happy with are the people that haven't picked up the phone on either way the entire time. Listen, every vendor is owed probably 6 or 7 figures of money from every restaurant in town. I don't know very many restaurants that are up to date with all of their payments at the moment because of the current situation. But with that being said, we've had a lot of really good conversations, and we've had a few people call and, for lack of a better word, just be total douchebags. We've got a guy that he owes us 5 figures of cash, and he wants to get more stuff delivered to his restaurant, and he's upset that we're not sending his order. And he's calling me to tell me that I'm an asshole for not sending out orders. And it's like, man, I haven't seen a check come through in 90 days, but I've only been in this pandemic for 60.
Hey, Zach, Jay here. So, when that does happen, and this is a serious question, right? So when that does happen, what's the conversation like from one business owner to the other, to where it's black and white, right, that he owes you money, right? And then the way the whole system works is you give me money, I give you spices. But at the same time, it is community, and I'm assuming, he's local, right? So it's like, how do you have that conversation and try to keep that bridge from burning when this pandemic is over?
And that, that's something that Rich has really schooled me a lot on this throughout this whole thing. And even before that, is a lot of it comes down to compassion. But in that conversation, he said, what do I got to do to get this get this order shipped off. And I said, I mean, first and foremost, communicate with me. You know, we told whoever placed the order, they placed it through the house, so I wasn't even a part of it. But hey, your account's on hold at the moment. You know, and we're trying to be really cool about it. Like, if you can just tell us, like, here's our plan, we'll release a lot of stuff to you.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, communication, and it ended up that, you know, he wanted to send a check. He couldn't. You know, I was here. It was there. His accountant was wherever doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up just saying, hey, like, dude, I'm going to release this to you after you send me a picture of some kind of money issuance. And, you know, that one was just like, we've had that conversation 3 or 4 times together. So by the 4th time, the compassion is fleeting and, you know, fool me once, shame on me kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get interesting. Man, a lot of stuff is getting interesting right now. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock lifted the city's stay-at-home order on May 9th, while many businesses and offices are permitted to reopen. Others, such as gyms and restaurants, are not. The uncertainty of a reopened target date is causing unrest among some restaurant owners, and starting to see some operators take matters into their own hands by creating their own rules and opening their doors to the public for dine-in. I think that, you know, I don't know how far off this is. When dining in restaurants becomes outlawed, diners in restaurants become outlaws. And we're seeing everyday good people trying to make good decisions. But right now there's a lot of hands tied, and as those hands are being tied, you're watching your bank ledger get smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point of where we're seeing it. We're seeing businesses of people that we love every single day. And between now and the 25th of May, I think we're going to start seeing the attrition on a very real level, Zach, of some of these places that owe you money might not even be a business by the time the reopening is scheduled.
Yeah, we're preparing for that for sure. Attrition-wise, just in our industry, so there's 4 real spice blenders in Colorado, and one of them already filed bankruptcy last week and cited 19 as the main issue.
And in a competitive field, I'm sure that you look at that and you go, man, that sucks.
Also, ching, what timing for us. Yeah, I mean, there's altruistic stuff to all of it, right? I mean, I think that, you know, Dana would probably not have done as well with Working Class if Los Chingones Monster was open the whole time across the street. Or, you know, there would have been some split there and some shared revenues just because people in the neighborhood didn't have the option to go there. So, you know, in the same exact sense, yeah, you know, Tom at Custom Blending, a great friend of ours and, you know, one of the good guys in the industry, but, you know, ultimately called it quits here last week. It's terrible. And, you know, you feel bad, and he's got a long road ahead of him to put the pieces back together. But at the same time, like, this is welcomed business for us at the moment to take over the people that he was doing food manufacturing for. So like the meat companies and, you know, some of these other brands that make food that are selling in retail establishments. You know, we're going to try to take every advantage of it that we can. We've made a lot of deals so far, so we're happy.
From the world headquarters, there it is, the Spice Guy. It's going to get interesting in the weeks ahead, Zach, and we've been watching it happen. Thanks for your time today. We're going to jump. Where are we going next?
Well, Rebecca Berry, but I pushed her to 3:30 because in light of everything got pushed back. Zach was supposed to be 2:45, and he was
about the wait, Zach.
He was on a 2:45, but we went long with the first guest, and rightfully so because of how interesting it is and seeing their perspective of being open.
Yeah, guys.
I really liked what that dude that nobody knows who he was saying, that these are just recommendations. Orders are simply recommendations. I don't know what the validity of that, but
I would really like to have that answer as well.
Well, I thought that was really interesting. You know, it's really hard for me. I was watching the show yesterday, and I watched you almost get beat up by that chick in the camo jacket, Greg. And it's really hard for me not to.
Did she want to throw punches, do you think?
I think she would yeah.
Where's your camera going, man?
I was watching that,
Where's your camera going? I don't know, man. Governor Jared Polis, here's a quote from him. Such conduct is illegal and dangerous.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like it's a law to
You know
me.
who
Anything
we?
that's
You know what
illegal.
we need? We need a lawyer on the show, right? I mean, that all do
Yeah, too bad I never tried to connect you with one.
Oh, did you? That sounded like the Spice Guy sarcasm.
Now,
Where
here's the deal. If I would have said that to Jay,
now, when you say you try to, I tried to hook you up with one. You talking about
what
me
would
or
you
Greg?
say if that was me?
Well, no. Are you talking about?
Oh, way to be passive aggressive.
Hold on.
that
You
one.
are the king of passive aggressive. But who were you speaking to? Did you physically talk to me about it?
You've texted the lawyer.
I
to have
did.
him on the show about this stuff.
Well, then why didn't he come on?
Because you didn't book
You
it.
didn't follow up.
That sounds
This might
like
be
it.
yeah.
That does
We
sound
can get
like
him on.
me.
I think we get Justin on and we can see what's up. We have a wonderful attorney. He just went into business for himself again, and he's a real stand-up dude. He's a huge supporter of local business and even more so restaurants.
Hey, can you
And
text me that guy's contact
Yeah.
info?
No, don't do it.
Yeah. Can you text him and waste his time for me because he loves it when you do that.
Listen, the days coming ahead. There's interesting stuff going on there right now. This Grubhub brush up, and I'm trying to dig into it a little bit more to see, is this unethical or is it illegal in what they're doing? And if you look at SEO coding and you want to just get everything you want to out there to become as searchable as possible, but Grubhub is ruffling feathers right now. The delivery service is accused of targeting local restaurants, and they've got a federal class action lawsuit going on right now. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to have on
Eric Riggs,
who's the owner-operator of
Freshcraft.
I like that. Finishing my sentence. And Freshcraft's accusing Grubhub of,
Sorry.
of burying their business, saying that they're not delivering through Grubhub. Grubhub's saying that they're not delivering through them, which they clearly are. They're open for delivery. It's an interesting case scenario, and I'm reading this article right now. Grubhub says they'll do everything that they can to steer their customers back to where they can make money, and unfortunately, that's on the backs of a lot of these local restaurants that are not trying to survive. Eric Riggs says it's absolutely devastating and it's appalling for this company doing these practices, and Freshcraft is their allegations are that Grubhub is burying their information for people that do business with Grubhub, paying Grubhub to give them more exposure. I don't know where I fall on this one, but it's an interesting story, and we're going to have Eric on tomorrow.
You saw that Yelp was removing businesses' phone numbers and replacing it with a Yelp phone number if you don't advertise for them, right?
Now, is that true? Gosh.
That was 100% true.
Jeez. Chef Brother Luck and Greg, I'd mentioned this to you, and I probably should get Brother back on to chop up this a little bit about some food company that he's dealing with that's delivering his restaurant's food without his permission. And they're placing an order like they're just John, and John shows up to pick up the order, but John takes it to Greg and sells it to Greg, and Chef Brother Luck has no opinion in the matter.
Or he just can't say no.
Or he can't say no, but there's
middleman in food, man. Used to do that with weed in high school. You buy a little weed, give some to somebody else, sell off so you can smoke some. Did you ever do that?
Yeah. Maybe they're ordering a couple of hot dogs and only one shows up, to
get some food. Tomorrow's going to be a good day. We'll be at Molly's Spirits to do the show from there, but we'll also do Molly's Liquid Lounge. It's the final edition. Yet last week's Molly's Liquid Lounge was pretty damn cool when Todd Leopold and Al Laws together. And I think that's Rebecca. You want to stick around with Rebecca Berry here, or you want to take off?
I got to roll. I got kids to get.
See you, brother. Say hi to Parker for us.
Will do. Thank you, boys.
See you
later, buddy.
Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. These are good guys, and they just opened up a new location in Littleton. Like many of you, they're taking steps to adapt to the new circumstances and protect everybody. That's why they're offering delivery right now. So if you have been sent to your backyard and told not to come back inside until it's dark, get your backyard barbecue game on point with Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. Again, free local delivery, or you can go to their new location in Littleton. I'd say you do that. Stop by and get everything you need for your backyard barbecue. That's meats, pellets, charcoals, woods, seasonings, sauces, grills, and accessories. Give them a call at 720-612-7324, 720-612-7324. They'll do curbside pickup, or you can go on into that store, check it out, physically distanced from each other, and buy yourself a pellet smoker or a grill. Also has gift cards. You can get it online at ProudSoulsBBQ.com. I know this gal. How are you, Rebecca Berry?
Hi, I'm good, Greg. Sorry, I had a snafu of throwing the phone around, so bear with me.
No, you're fine. Technology is not our friend either.
Not at all.
So, anyway, crystal clear picture. We can hear you just fine. Where are you, Rebecca Berry?
I'm in a parking lot, and I figured I would just pull up to about time over by the Costco in River Point. I was at the fire station, West 14, delivering some food, but had a jet since we had to push our time out, but wanted to make sure that we had a quiet space to chat today.
Rebecca Berry, she is our spirit guide when it goes to keeping you safe on a business level, HR and payroll services, among insurance and so many things. But before we get started, could you please talk about Hot Schedules powered by Fourth?
I would love to. Thank you so much, Greg. So it's really critical right now, you guys, to start looking at platforms you're going to use for rehiring, for onboarding, for hiring in general, how you're going to follow your applicants, track them, get them onboarded, and then think about things like your handbooks, right? This is an ever-changing place that we're in with COVID-19, and how are you going to have all of these acknowledgments and be able to keep up with them if you're not able to just quickly have all of your employees sign off on something that may change next week? So with our solution, we do offer an end-to-end solution that starts with the applicant tracking, the onboarding, the hiring, the payroll, the taxes, the insurance for your owner-operators, and then goes into our technology for scheduling, which also would include right now where your staffing's so thin, you want to make sure that you have somebody backing you up in case you have an employee that may fall ill or have a personal emergency and may not be able to work. So we really are that whole encompassing protection for you, and essentially we carry all the liability, so we've got you covered.
Oh, my goodness. Don't leave yourself out there alone. Get the help and partner up with Rebecca Berry and Fourth. I would have to imagine you're going to get extremely busy, young lady, so reach out right now, and that's rebecca.berry@fourth.com. Is that right?
Thanks, Greg. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. I need to just ask, because you're always up to so many different things, but you're a woman on a mission. What's today's mission?
Oh, today's mission started early, but I'll kind of back up a bit. You know, we've been feeding nurses and first responders through some different programs for the last 8 weeks. And Chris Franklin over at Levers reached out to me and said, hey, I want to help with this and gather some of our local suppliers. So together with the help, there's so many to name. There's literally, I think, 15 to 20 sponsors who donated product. We were able to feed 6 firehouses today. We wanted to scale it, start out a little small and not overwhelm, and we were blown away by the donations from our community. And Monica Leonard actually reached out to me and said, hey, my husband's a firefighter. And if you know Monica, she's with the ACF. So, of course, we have to support her. So I just got back from dropping off a carload. My car was completely full of food for all 3 shifts to her husband's fire station. So, hey, Jared Leonard and the entire team out at 14. So that was kind of the mission of the day. There is somebody that, well, let me finish this. Actually, I'm jumping ahead of my thoughts, but we are looking to pass the baton. So, you know, hopefully Pete Marzik or somebody from Tony's, another market, wants to pick this up with some of their local purveyors to do the same thing and keep the love going. So let's just keep the communication lines open. Reach out to me again, rebecca.berry@fourth.com. You can message Greg, Jay. They've got my information, and I'm all over social media. But let's continue to support our community. With that being said, there's a gentleman, Greg, that you and Jay spoke with last week. His name is Steve from Cloudbreak Advisory. And I'm thrilled to say that we have developed a formal partnership. So when I speak to Fourth, having the Hot Schedules powered by Fourth, having the end-to-end solution, we now have the food safety added in where Steve is consulting. I'm working with him. We're going to be releasing a webinar next week that he and I are working on together currently. So you really have resources out there when it comes to health code, safety, and then we've got you covered with the HR and your payroll and tax. So really, we've got every aspect that you need. And we also partner with Swick & Associates, who is a great local firm here, knows the hospitality and restaurant business for all of your business tax needs too. So we've been working through that. The last big project, you just had one of my favorite people on, Mr. Zach. We are working on a 70 bag drop to local concepts to give them some information. So they're going to receive a bag that's going to include our information from Hot Schedules Powered by Fourth with some goodies in it. Information from, depending on the concept, we're looking at doing Zach's company, so the Spice Guy. I've got Sunflower Mills, sunflower oil, Blondebeard's Buffalo, Deviation, and then Rome Sausage. Chris may be jumping in there too. I'm open to anybody else who wants to give their information out to our community on where they can source things locally or have solutions that will tie in with ours. So I'm putting together 70 bags that will go out within the next few weeks.
You should, it's Jay here, you should reach out to Crazy Johnny Irvin from Gluten Free Things and see if he'd throw a cookie in each one of those bags.
Who doesn't love those cookies?
Yeah, I bet you he would.
And I bet he's listening. So, John, I'll shoot you an email when I get home.
Rebecca, you're amazing. Everything you put forth with passion, integrity, charm, and classiness.
Thank you, Greg.
You're just really killing it right now. And you're the type of people that I want to do business with, you know. And I think that really shows. You'll be in good hands. You talk to Rebecca. And if she doesn't have the answers to it, she'll find it out. She'll figure it out for you.
And I do want to mention one thing. So I am wearing my First Crush shirt, which is the Canadian. So you don't know if it's a person or a pizza, which is really kind of a jokey little thing. But we're going to be working on kind of slimming down the pop-up shop as things reopen. So keep in mind, go get the merch now that you can and to finish supporting those locations. Jen and I are coming up with something to kind of do a big last hurrah to come get pony up merchandise.
Now you're talking about Levers Locavore.
Thank you. Levers Locavore to 38th and Federal. So we have a nice pop-up shop there. Plus, there's a lot of local products that you want to go out and get if you haven't tried some of these before. And all of these guys donated to the fire stations this week. So you definitely want to at least go and take a look at Levers Locavore. It's pretty awesome, but you can get some awesome gear there. And 100% of those proceeds go back to those concepts.
It's a great shopping experience as well. I go into Levers Locavore. It's truly one of the places that during this pandemic I didn't want to just rush out of. I had a great time shopping in there, and I actually took a little bit more time. It's so well curated, has everything you could possibly want as far as good food. The only gripe I had, Rebecca, I was really upset about one thing. They had too much selection of ice cream.
You know, my problem is the condiments, so the sauces, and I'm spoiled because a lot of our partners have given me stuff to try. But there's so many options, and I love that.
I know.
But
I'm gonna limit Greg to one joke. He can only use the same joke 3 times.
Listen,
and then after,
you're with me every day. It's some of the things I do say, and one of my mentors said this to me: just when you think people are getting upset or bored, they're just catching up. Like, how many times have you heard me say the only thing certain right now is what, Rebecca?
It's uncertainty.
But that's not a joke, though. I'm just talking about, puns where his gripe with Levers, where he says, I've got one gripe. I see it coming. I just see it coming.
I love you, Rebecca. We'll see you soon.
Love you guys.
Bye. There she is, Rebecca Berry. I don't know. It sounds lively wherever we're zooming to now.
We're zooming to Larry Herz.
Larry Herz.
Yeah. Can I do this before we get to him? Just
1 second before Larry. Larry, hang tight. Jay's going to do a live.
Sit tight, Larry. I want to do something.
1 second, Larry.
I muted him so he can't say anything even if he wanted to.
Go.
I want to talk about Aspen Baking Company, and whether you're into hoagies, focaccias, baguettes, lobster rolls, pound cakes, any of that stuff, you can find that at aspenbaking.com, but you're not going to find any preservatives or artificial colors or chemicals. If you want to buy direct, you can. If you want to order online, you can, and they are on Amazon Fresh. That is right. Box lunches, catering, I mean, whatever you want. And what I want is bread. I love bread, and if you're a bread guy like me or gal, AspenBaking.com is where you go to get the best bread in town.
AspenBaking.com.
That's right.
How's your Aspen? Where
Hashtag how's your Aspen?
Larry Herz, what's going on? Looks like
Hey, say hi to Jason. He's got to go to work in a second.
What's up, Jason?
Hey, there's our guy.
You guys.
Handsome man, you. What do you got going on today?
We just ate at Happy Camper, new little restaurant group that opened up here in Denver. They're from Chicago. Just having a little pizza and a little wings, shooting the breeze with Jason from GQ and Larry.
Everybody, all the boys are there right now?
Yeah, some of us are dispersing, but we wanted to say hi at least.
Well, hey, while we've got you here, and I know you got to take off, but you're doing some great things too. Are you still doing the buy a pizza, give a pizza promotion?
We are, yes, sir. We ended up giving some pizzas away this week to Aurora Hospital. We're doing some stuff with We Don't Waste still, also helping out the Hope House. We're still trying to give back as much as we can, just to have a sense of purpose during all these uncertain times. So, but yeah, for $25 gift card, we will gift a gift pizza to someone in need. So if you want to swing by, order a pizza, get a gift card, you can use it upon your next visit.
That's awesome, man. Last time I was there, ordered the hot mess, right? Sicilian hot mess.
You did.
Dude, it was life-changing.
Thank you, Greg. That's very, very kind words. That one is a fan favorite for sure. And that's only been on our menu for about a year now, but people are really drawn to that one. That's for sure. And those green chili chicken wings, those are good as well.
Yeah, what did I – so I got a special. I got like 4 beers, a pie, and some wings, right? Is that –
That's right. We have a crush pack. So you can crush pack for 1, crush pack for 2, crush pack for 3. And it all includes pizza, wings, and beer. So you can do that at our house or at our restaurant, or you can order it for pickup or delivery as well. It's on our website.
God, that's how I want to live my life.
Now,
every
was
day.
that for 1 or for 2 people? What I ordered?
Good question.
Because it was 4 beers.
Follow up. It was for 2. Yeah. So you get 2 beers for crush pack 1, 4 beers for crush pack 2, and a 6-pack for crush pack 3.
Is Larry talking smack back there?
He kind of is, yeah.
He is? All right. Hammy Bay, where's getting all that?
Well, we appreciate everything that you guys are doing. We really do. It was good to see you the other day, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, you'll see us soon. There he is, Jason McGovern. Look at the pizza shirt he's got on. Who else has a pizza shirt?
We got another special guest for you. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Ta-da! I know who it is. There he is. What's up, Coach?
How you doing?
Good to see you, man. You've constantly worn the visor. I used to be a visor man myself. I love the visor. I got to get back to it, but it's so easy. You can do whatever you want with the hair. You get the hair popping out of the top. The visor's the real deal.
2 reasons why I wear the visor. I didn't start wearing a visor until a couple of years ago. The first reason is I got some receding hairlines happening. And it looks okay because I got quarantine hair right now.
Yeah.
But when I wear a visor, it gives the illusion that I got a full head of hair, and I'm just covering up these recessions that I have.
Well done.
And then the other thing is just purely self-promotion. Is in the barbecue world, a lot of barbecue guys are kind of known for something. And there's no barbecue guys that are out there known for wearing a visor. And so I'm trying to kind of somehow brand myself as the barbecue visor guy that's out there. So 2 distinct reasons why I wear the visor.
You know who else wears a visor, rocks it all the time, big name locally?
Yeah, Al Laws.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Al
Laws does.
He wears a visor.
I don't know how.
He does the visor.
Smart man, though. Smart man.
All right, the word on the street is, man, you got the YouTube itch back. You got that YouTube itch back, and you're going to team up with Larry Herz, and you're going to put together some more content on your already illustrious YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I wanted to make videos last year, and we just didn't have the time to make any. And then I'm so impressed with Larry's quality of videos from his videos team. So I talked to him to see if his team was available to maybe make some more videos. Because when I first started the YouTube channel, I used to shoot, edit, produce, all of that stuff. And I don't have the time to do that kind of stuff. So I try to look for people. And plus, I'm not very good at it. If you look at some of my first videos, they're awful. And that's because I was doing that stuff. So I try to find people that can do it a lot better than I can to try to draw a much better audience. And I'm so impressed with his team that I think we're going to try to do a couple of these videos here next week and see how it goes.
I mean, I was impressed with what you had up on the YouTube channel already, but you're right. Larry Herz and his team can turn around a video in just a couple of days, and it's like movie quality.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. When do you think you'll launch one of the first ones?
Well, it depends how quick they turn them around. We're going to try to shoot some next week if the weather's good. Well, the weather really doesn't matter. It's the sunlight. Like a day like today, it's pretty overcast. This would not be a good day to shoot. So we need just a sunny day, and the temperature really doesn't matter. So assuming we get one of those naturally sunny Colorado days next week, we'll get out there and hopefully tape two episodes.
Yeah, what are you going to break the ice with?
I don't know. That's good. Do you have any ideas?
I was
thinking about that last night as I was going to sleep.
Man, last year at that Proud Souls cook-off, we did a video of you. Maybe let's send that over to you. I don't even know that you know it exists. But you did a lobster tail on the grill, man, that knocked my socks off.
Yeah, I've got a lobster tail video up already.
Do you really? Okay.
So we probably won't do that one. But, yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, there's so much to do, and it's the season. It's the reason for the season, man. And there's guys all over right now that are not allowed to go inside the house, that they're relegated to their backyards from their wives or girlfriends, that don't come back in until it's dark, and they're sitting outside twiddling their thumbs looking at their old grills right now. So they need inspiration right now to get that backyard barbecue game on point.
Yeah, it's always a good time to barbecue. Always a good time.
All right,
guys, good seeing you. Thanks so much. We'll see you around.
Jason Goodall right there. Larry Herz, you're hanging out with the guys today, huh?
Yeah, we have a little group. I don't know if I ever told you. We started just before this, and when I call it IROC, Independent Restaurateurs of Colorado, and just kind of a forum for guys to get together and bounce shit off each other and commiserate and what's working for you, what isn't working for you. Jed from the Piper Inn is in the group, George from Pizza Republica. And we had just had one meeting before this all started, so a little bit of a get-together again today for Jason and Jason, catch up and see how things are going and what the future is going to be in the restaurant business.
Hey, so what's it take to get in the group, man? Can you jump me in?
You have to be an independent restaurant owner.
Damn it, man. How about this kitchen is licensed as a restaurant? I can prove that I am.
You could certainly visit.
I mean,
I don't think you can be a member.
Listen, Larry, you said what the rules are. If he shows up with the credentials, Pep, I don't know how you could say no.
Yeah.
You have to own an independent restaurant.
We do.
It doesn't get more independent than this.
Yeah. Just because it's not operating at all or well or resembles.
And I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm in the group. I'm like the moderator of the group is how I think it is. So you could be like the assistant moderator because you're a better moderator than I am. That's for sure.
Okay, well, keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. We're having a good day today, and it's interesting, Larry. We're seeing people do it right now, opening up their restaurants, and I know you don't want to have any opinion on that at all, but are you finding it interesting? Can I ask you that?
Well, today was one of the first days I haven't listened because I've been with these guys.
Damn it.
So, yeah, I'm sure the subject – did Eric come in today? Did you guys talk about Grubhub?
He's on tomorrow, so you'll be with us for the lion's share of tomorrow. Why don't you come on in tomorrow with me? Can you do that?
I thought I am. I thought tomorrow's Molly Spirits.
Yep, Molly Spirits, but I'm saying come in for the lion's share of the show.
What does that mean?
Come in for more time than you usually do, Larry.
Tell me what time, and I'll tell you if I'll be there.
All right, what's for lunch? What was for lunch today, Larry?
So we had a little hiccup. I don't know if you guys saw it.
No, I'm about to play it right now.
Actually, you should play it. It's a refreshing new take on what's for lunch.
Is this Rice Bistro?
You got to get that in there, baby. Thank you.
Is it Rice Bistro?
Sort of, yes.
Okay, sort of, yes. Here we go. Sort of, yes. Sort of, what's for lunch? Let's see what happens. Turn me up.
You're up.
Of What's for Lunch. I'm your host, Larry Herz. Today we're going to change things up a little bit. My scheduled guest had a conflict, so instead I'm going with a different idea today. This was actually my original idea for this show, What's for Lunch, is I was just going to go get takeout every day and show you guys what I was eating. And I was thinking, it's going to be pretty boring after a few days, like watching me eat and what I got for to eat and talking just about me and what's going on around town. So today I got takeout from Rice Bistro. When this first started happening, the COVID, and we were locked down, I was getting this food a lot. They have two locations, one right near my office here in DTC on Holly and Orchard, where I actually had my second restaurant was in that same shopping center. And then they have another one in Aspen Grove. They are doing 25% off your total bill. That's takeout, delivery, alcohol. Their lunch deal is already a smoking deal at $8. So we got here, me and my producer Josh here, we ordered two dishes here. I'm going to show you what we got. And it's $14 to feed the two of us. Where do you see what's in here? I'm going to just tear it on apart here, make a lot of noise, and show you how well they package this. So, we each get our own soups. Josh went for sweet and sour here. Open that bad boy up. Oh, it does smell good.
You're opening his soup for him.
And I went for wonton.
You went for wonton? Lovely.
And then, that's his chicken teriyaki right there. Teriyaki
good.
Boy.
Yeah.
The white rice, the spring roll. I'll leave it open for you. And then I got beef with broccoli, brown rice, again,
and
the
egg
spring
roll.
$7
for the whole thing.
I mean, you can't cook at home that cheap.
Wait a minute, $7 for that whole thing?
Yeah.
So someone didn't show up. You decided to pivot. You ordered out.
Yep.
I'm proud of you, man. You could have just said, you know what, not today. It's not going to happen. You kept the drive.
It worked out good. I ended up doing, if you watch, don't show these guys, but I ended up doing like a history of myself. I really hadn't done that on the show. I explained, my background in the restaurant business.
That's the remainder of this What's for Lunch.
Yeah, I interviewed myself.
No, well, now I got to listen. Turn this back up.
My own restaurant. So I started managing restaurants all throughout Manhattan. Some of the best, some of the worst. I was the opening general manager of Fuddruckers, 91st and 3rd on the Upper East Side at 23 years old. I had a staff of 100, 4 assistant managers, and I was in way over my head. I was not ready for that. But still, learning experience, kept moving around the city. Eventually, I was managing a restaurant in the Village that's still there called Calhan Cab Company. Mexican restaurant, gold mine, packed till 4 in the morning. I'd get done with work at 5:30 in the morning. Of course, the good part of that is you do get really fresh bagels that time of the day. But it was a tough life. Eventually, at that restaurant, I got held up at gunpoint. I'm not going to go into the whole details, but when you have a gun to the back of your head, that metal touching the back of your head, you're thinking somebody's sending me a message.
Is that true, Larry?
Yeah, I would never lie.
Yeah, it's got to be true.
I don't know that. All right.
I'd always had this vision of myself living in Colorado. I was a Broncos fan, even though I grew up in New York.
Now I know this.
And I had one friend that was living out in Denver, and I called.
What's for Lunch? Everybody, go see this. Larry, you're doing such a great job with What's for Lunch, and every single day, come hell or high water. Is this being cross-posted onto the Modern Eater Facebook page? I
don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think we ever figured it out.
All right, well, we're going to figure that out. You should be able to see this on the Modern Eater Facebook page. And you do it around noontime?
11:30 every day.
Early lunch.
I thought I would give you a little tour of where we just ate. What do you think of that idea? Am I allowed to promote this place I got nothing to do with?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a green screen behind you. Is this real, or are you in the Larry offices?
So this is a Happy Camper out of Chicago. Pizza wings right across from Avante. It is absolutely, when and if we ever get back to normal, going to be the hot spot here. It's we had pizza and wings. The pizza was shockingly good. Like, I really enjoyed it. Jason from Crush, who obviously is a tough critic, He liked it. We liked the wings.
Wait, so Pecos Street and what? What in Pecos? I'm trying to look at
Yeah,
it.
32nd and Pecos.
Looks like a cool building.
I mean, a tremendous patio, massive AstroTurf patio. The drinks are good. They got this big rock wall. It's going to be the hot spot. No rooftop. I don't know if you guys got a good view of.
So this is a restaurant that is opening right now during COVID.
Yeah, they're the only restaurant I know of that opened during COVID. They're about 10 days old, out of Chicago. And yeah, they got this really cool brick wall. These pink flamingos here.
Those are the weirdest bricks I've ever seen, Larry.
You could see, their tables.
That place is going to be, I mean, so that place is meant to be, moving, lots of movement, lots of patio activity, inside and outside. That place is not meant for COVID-19.
They see 200.
Did you go inside the kitchen, Larry? Did they give you a tour? Did they give you a tour?
They will not let me in because there's still people doing construction. Mm-hmm. But you can see almost everything from the outside. I think it's going to be a hot thing.
What's up for tomorrow? So you're going to join us over at Molly's. I understand Piper Inn's going to be on the Modern Eater show tomorrow.
Yeah, Jed's got it. I hope he can tell you guys his big announcement. I'm not going to steal his thunder. Piper Inn, been around for 51 years. He's going to be on What's for Lunch tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
He's not on the Modern Eater yet. I got to get his contact info to see if he can.
He's agreed to be on. I don't know whether I can get him to come to Molly's or not. I hope I can. If not, you'll zoom in.
Gotcha.
My favorite restaurant reopened today.
Your favorite? I thought the Piper Inn was your favorite.
No.
Wait, hold on. I know what your favorite restaurant is. Larry, you want to know what it is?
Sure.
Softa.
Yep.
And your pillows of pita that you love and that are on your business card.
Yeah. Yeah, I reopened for takeout and delivery today.
And
I don't know if I can't make it today because I've already had 2 lunches. But,
unbelievable.
I'm gonna probably go Saturday. Get my pita, get my hummus, get my baba ganoush, falafel, some crispy eggplant. So I'm telling you, if you don't know if you like that food or not, that place will change your life. You'll be like, oh my God, what have I been thinking? Why have I not been eating Israeli food?
You like it better, obviously, because it's your favorite, but Ashkara?
Ashkara is amazing. I'm not going to say Ashkara is not amazing. And it's a close second. And I love those guys, of course. But it's just something. I like their dining room better at Safsa. And they just have just a few items that are slightly better. Slightly. Close. Don't get mad at me.
How could you get mad at Larry? It's a face of mother.
Daniel. Love me some Chef Daniel. Don't get mad at me.
I know. Okay, Larry, so tomorrow we'll see you at Molly's Spirits. We'll do it again, and we know what's for lunch. It's Piper Inn tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for that.
I booked 3 weeks from now for What's for Lunch, so I'm really excited. Have you ever been to the Brutal Poodle?
You know what? The Brutal Poodle on Broadway, yes, and their reviews are still amazing.
Yeah, they're coming in 3 weeks for What's for Lunch. Can't wait for that one.
I should reach out to that
reach
dude.
back
I
out
told
to
you,
that.
I worked with one of those guys.
That'd be cool. All right, Larry, have a good afternoon and enjoy the beautiful day.
See you guys tomorrow. Thanks.
Larry Herz. All right, we're going to play out with something. Today, Chris Mann, if you don't know Chris Mann, he's, forgot what, was it American Idol? One of those shows. He didn't win. But he came close.
One of those shows. He didn't win, but it's a show.
Close. But now he's doing a lot of great parody stuff. And check this one out. It's brand new. It was released today. But this is called I Call My Friends on Zoom.
Yeah.
We'll leave you with this today.
What's my password?
It's an interesting time we're living in, you guys.
Like your COVID games. Don't like 6 feet of space. You keep my like Corona now. You've ruined Tex-Mex. Wow. You think you've locked us down. Isn't true. No, I don't like you. You thought your fancy pandemic would make us say goodbye. You've made it harder, we got smarter, we just went online. You'll never break the social chain, and let me tell you why. I log in once, then I log in twice. Zoom, I call my friends on Zoom. I call my friends
It's
on
catchy
Zoom.
for sure.
I call all my friends on Zoom. Call up all my friends and boom. My friends are in my room. My friends are in my room. And they on lockdown too. I said I call my friends on Zoom. I don't like you picking fights with our lit board game night. My best friend always cries like a bitch if you can't go fish. If you Corona, why you coming with the drama? But keep it up, and we're gonna have some problems. 19 can't break us up, cause one thing's for sure. Life always finds a way, and we ain't scared.
Life finds a way,
You
right?
thought your fancy pandemic would make us say goodbye. You made it harder, we got smarter, we just went online. You'll never break the social chain, and let me tell you why. I log in once, then I log in twice. Zoom, I call my friends on Zoom. I call my friends on Zoom. I call all my friends on Zoom. Call up all my friends and boom. My friends are in my room. I show them Gus and Rue, Laura and Hugo too. I said I call my
That guy
friends
doing
on
the Running
We
Man.
don't like you, COVID, piss off, can't you just leave? We'd like to hang out in person if we could, please. We don't like you, COVID, piss off, can't you just leave? We'd like to hang out in person if we could, please.
It is American Craft Beer Week. Breweries are having a real struggle like the rest of us right now, but support a brewery. Buy some beer for yourself, buy some beer for a friend, drink it up. It is American Craft Beer Week. Got to thank Bill Borders, owner, and Ashley Smith, front of the house manager from Western Omelette 3. It was good to hear from them. We went out
Nice
to
folks.
Calhan, Colorado, halfway between Colorado Springs and Lyman on Highway 24. Hottest green chili around in Western Omelette 3. They opened their doors. Dr. William Blanchet, as always, thank you, sir. And Zach Johnson, the Spice Guy, Rebecca Berry, Hot Schedules, powered by Fourth. Of course, Larry Herz. We'll get it all back together tomorrow. We'll do it again for Jay Parker and myself, Greg Hollenbach. That's it for today. Back at it tomorrow, Thursday, 2 p.m. right here. The Modern Eater Show continues.